Game, right?
Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you right off the top about Shaq before we do a little something different with the scouting tape. Shaquille O'Neal gets 49 against the Pacers. Orlando loses. Shaquille O'Neal gets 41 against the Celtics. Orlando loses. Is it the old Wilt Chamberlain thing where you let him score and stop everybody else, or do you try to stop him?
I think it's a situation where you can't let those other guys get off like we did the last time. Then you have to stay a little bit closer to home and let him have a few points, and that might be our game plan. You don't know.
We don't want Shaq to know either.
No.
But they've got an interesting team. Scott Skiles last time gets 20 assists at a career record.
And he got about 9 of those in open court where he just made a pass. He's a very smart player, a very determined player, a good point guard, a good leader, a very good leader.
This Orlando team, record not tremendous. Are they better than that, and they're trying to find out how to use Shaq?
I don't know. You know, I'm not coaching that team. You know, that's the tough part. You look at a game and you see a team and you say, man, they're really talented, but maybe the next 5 games they don't play very well. Maybe they were just hot that night. So only the guys that work with them every day and see them every day knows really how good they are and how talented they are. Because sometimes it looks like you have a lot more talent than you do. Maybe you have some things that you don't do very well that against certain teams you really are pointed out and they really take advantage of it. So a lot of things like that happen too in the NBA and in college.
All right. What we're going to do tonight, we highlighted the opposing team all the time. We're going to take a look at the guard combination at the point guard position for the Portland Trail Blazers tonight, and take a look at how Terry Porter and Rod Strickland differ a little bit at the point guard position. All right, let's roll it.
Well, here you see Terry Porter coming down the floor. Okay, now Terry Porter's going to go inside. He's a powerful player, so people have to double him. You're going to see them double, and he's looking forward. He kicks it back out to Harvey Grant. Now watch Buck Williams go up and rebound this ball. He's playing great. He's doing a great job. Kicks it back out to Terry for the 3. Terry is the type of a player that you, as a point guard, you've got to get out and guard him in that 3-point line because he can really drill it out there.
When the team is passing the ball like we just saw there, a penetration, a pass, a rebound, Terry plays.
But, you know, when you move the ball around and you take a shot when nobody is guarding you, and that's what happens when you move and penetrate and kick the ball and swing it to the other side, everybody plays better that way. And that's why, as a coach, you love to have your team doing that all the time. And when you do, the majority of the time, you're hard to beat. Kicks it right over here. Okay, hold it. Go ahead. Wide open shot for Buck Williams. We got a goaltend. See, both of them set up a man on a penetration. Rod gets it right to Buck, easy inside, and they goaltend the shot.
So really, if you're a defensive guard, you've got to change your whole plan from playing Rod to Terry.
Well, it's a little different. Rod is quicker than Terry. Terry shoots the ball better outside, but when you rush Terry outside, you see he put the ball on the floor and gets by. His drive is set up by his jump shot, where Rod's jump shot is set up by his drive, just the complete opposite.
Very interesting. Let's take a look at Rod one more time.
Okay, well, now you're going to see the ball passed over to Clyde. He's going to take it over here, pass it to Clyde. He's going to take it back. And now you're going to see Rod then penetrate in here and take it right in the lane area and shoot it between two guys. And this is a very, very difficult shot, and he does it very well. He worked hard on his shot this summer, and now he's shooting with a lot more confidence. Now the ball goes back to Rod. Now this is the difficult. He drives, he blows by his guy, so he's got to be going speed. Now he goes straight up in the air, shoots a little floater inside. That may be the most difficult shot in the game of basketball, I think.
Finally, looking at the combination of, it has to be probably the deepest point guard position for any team in the NBA when you have Rod and Terry.
Well, I think they're as good as anybody as a combination. We started out the season and we weren't playing well, and but now we're setting up more plays for those guys, and I think they're really playing. They're pushing the ball down the floor. We're starting to play a lot better, and when we're playing good like that, it's very difficult. And Terry's shooting the ball as well, as strong as he is at 6'3". He can play the two guard, and now we have Rod and he playing together a lot of time too, as you see.
All right, we're going to have to see on Chalk Talk if showing Rod and Terry help out against the ever-elusive Scott Skiles. He played pretty well last time.
He did. And we're going to play better this time and beat him.
There, you heard it from Jack Shallow. This is Mike Rice on Chalk Talk. See you next time.
A Sunday afternoon of NBA basketball, an early game, the Orlando Magic in town, Shaquille O'Neal, of course, and the rest of the Magic, the first of 5 games out on the road for the Magic around the NBA. Around the NBA, ladies and gentlemen, a very special guest, one of my guys.
And the great John, he's one of the best in the league, so he's a great guy to learn from, and I have a lot of fun watching the Sonics play because it's such an entertaining team to watch.
Well, there was a story that you did come very, very close, getting the honor of working for NBC in studio, but you didn't get the job. But one of these days you will.
Yeah,
Tell us that story.
I was very flattered to get offered the opportunity to audition for the job, and I went back to New York with several other players, Reggie Theus, Mike Glenn, Kurt Rambis, and a couple other guys, Norm Van Leer. And after the interview session, came back to Portland for about 4 or 5 days, and they evaluated everybody and said, hey, Michael, we really like the job you did for us, and we think you're our guy. We'll get back to you at a further notice. Then the next thing I know, Julius Erving decides he's interested in the job, and once that happened,
what happened?
I had no chance once Julius Erving got his name into the mix, and that's okay. Finishing second to the great Dr. J is quite an honor indeed.
Are the Sonics for real?
Yeah.
Can they keep it up?
Yeah, they can, because George Carl uses a 9-man rotation. Nobody plays extended minutes, not even Sean Kemp. And their defense keeps them in games. An example, in Houston, they shot 31% from the field, and they still only lost by 7 points. If they could have somehow shot a little bit better, they could have pulled that game out in a very tough place to play in the Summit in Houston. So they're for real. If they stay healthy, it's a 4-team race in the West. There's no question, no sense fooling yourself. For Seattle, Phoenix, Houston, and maybe San Antonio. Until Portland picks up their defensive intensity, then they can come in and make it a 5-team race.
In 10 seconds, tell me about Portland.
Well, they just need to pick up their defensive intensity. They're deep enough where they can play the type of defense that Seattle plays, pressing the ball full court. They're talented, they're athletic enough and deep enough to get away with it.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. Michael Thompson, ladies and gentlemen. Nice young man. He's going to go a long way one of these days. Well, it's NBA basketball time. Orlando and Portland, don't go away. We're going to be right back.
We created a whole new automotive category. brought the American Roadster back up to speed and reshaped the four-door sedan. You could say we've changed all the rules. Makes you wonder what we'll think of next. The new Dodge.
He does. It's Bullard back. Quick stolen by Rod Strickland. He's going to lay it in. Are you kidding me? First made the second Clyde late to the fourth. Wow! Bring me out of my seat, baby. 10 seconds on the clock. Terry out of the corner. Good!
Once again, it will happen. Someone will pick out a tree that's too big for the room, drop off some warm clothes, light the candle on the third night, experiment with the turkey baster, watch all 18 bowl games, and someone will sing slightly off key with all her heart. Happy holidays from Bank of America.
The following is a Blazer Broadcasting sports presentation. Make up the Blazer Cable Network.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, basketball fans, wherever you may be. It's NBA basketball time. The Orlando Magic, the Portland Trailblazers on an early Sunday afternoon here at Portland's Memorial Coliseum. Orlando's only appearance, Steve. It's the first of 5 for them out on the road. It will be a good test for them.
It'll be a good test because they're playing some very good basketball teams, and this is a team that is trying to make the playoffs. Last year they were 41-41 and right on the edge, and they think that they're going to do better, and they need to be able to beat some very good teams away from home.
Well, they are also a come-from-behind team. They've had the history of that so far this year. They get down and they bounce back.
Well, one of the things that you got to know about Orlando is that this is a team that's just going to keep coming at you. You know, when Portland and the Orlando Magic played on the 1st of December, Portland came out on the short end of the stick.
Right.
And the reason for it was the way that they defended Scott Skiles. Skiles is really a key element into what they like to do. And if Portland is to have success tonight, they've got to be up and on Scott Skiles.
The old lob pass, right?
Well,
the lob pass, time again.
The lob pass wore Portland out in the second half. I mean, Shaquille O'Neal had only had a couple of field goals going into the intermission, and then came back with 6 for 6 in the third quarter alone. When you take a look at how you want to defend against him, you see right here. Now, this is Rod Strickland. Look at the amount of space right in here that you have. You can't have that and allow him to look up here, and you see he's already let the ball go. He's already gone, and as you watch it and roll, That's pinpoint accuracy, and the defender really can't do anything about that. O'Neal is too big and strong. Once he gets that spot, he's going to hurt you. He's going to hurt you big time.
And Scotty looks for the big fella time and time again. Now, as far as Portland is concerned, one quick question. Can they put 3 wins in a row together?
Oh, certainly. They're capable of putting 3 wins together, and one thing that ought to help them is the fact this team has beaten them 3 straight times, and they feel that this is a better ball club.
Motivation. We'll be back with the starting lineup in just a few moments.
He does. It's Bullard. Backcourt stolen by Rod Strickland. He's going to lay it in. Are you kidding me? First made the second. Clyde late to the floor. Wow! Bring me out of my seat, baby. 10 seconds on the clock. Terry out of the corner. Good!
Wintertime in Les Schwab country. Wet and wild. At Les Schwab, we have everything to get you through. A complete line of all seasons radials for normal winter driving. For snow country, heavy traction to deep digging studded traction. The latest in tire change, including the popular easy-to-put-on quick fit change. In batteries, a full line of Les Schwab batteries, featuring Les Schwab's best, the Double Tough XHD. Winter changeover at Les Schwab. We do it quick, we do it right. Everything to get you through.
Earlier today, I shampooed the left side of my head with this National brand and the right side with this Payless brand. Then, I brushed my left teeth with this National brand and my right teeth with this Payless brand. Payless brands have virtually the same ingredients as the National brands, but they cost less. All 578 of them, including this, which I also tried earlier today. Take my word for it. Payless, because you deserve more from a drugstore.
An early game on a Sunday, a big sports day, a big sports weekend, and as far as the Blazers are concerned, this game tonight, only one of 3 games being played, by the way, around the league. The other games get started a little later on tonight. They're going to be big back in Orlando. This will be live back to Central Florida, and of course on our Blazer cable network as well tonight. The Orlando Magic led by Mr. Shaquille O'Neal. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this Sunday, will you join us here at Portland's Memorial Coliseum as the youngster, Brian Jones. He has sung the national anthem for us a number of times. He and his dad will come out to midcourt, and the little fella, all decked out, there he is in his tux, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the pale as light o'er the ramparts we watch, where so gallantly streaming, and the rockets twinkling, the moon's bursting in air, gave wood through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say just as star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Young Brian Jones. That's the young fella's name. All decked out. He's going to shake hands with the Trailblazers now. Slap a few hands. There he goes. He loves his Trailblazers. He even have a pair of the Blazers shoes on. Look at him slapping hands. That's his dad. He'll probably try and get Shaq now. Let's go to the public address announcer. Here is Mike Stone.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, making their first appearance in Portland, let's meet the members of the Orlando Magic. A 6'8" guard forward, number 3, Dennis Scott. A 6'8" forward, number 5, Donald Royal. A 6'1" guard, number 11, Laterial Green. A 6'6" guard, number 14, Anthony Bowie. A 6'4" guard, number 24, Todd Lichty. 6'11" center, number 34, Greg Kite. And a 6'9" forward center, number 43, Lorenzo Williams. The head coach of the Orlando Magic, Brian Hill. Assistant coaches Bob Hill, Wayne Tree Rollins, and the trainer is Lenny Courier. And now the starting 5 for the Orlando Magic. At forward, 6'6", number 25, Nick Anderson. At the other forward, 6'9", number 31, Jeff Turner. At center, 7'1", number 32, Shaquille O'Neal. At guard, 6'7", number 1, Anthony Hardaway. And at guard, 6'1", number 4, Scott Skiles. Assistant coaches Jack Shallow, John Wetzel, Kip Bonnet, and the trainer, Mike Szymanski. Starting at one forward at 6'9", number 44, Harvey Grant. At the other forward, 6'8", number 52, Bob Williams. At center, 6'9", number 2, Mark Bryant. Starting at one guard, 6'3", number 30, Terry Porter. And at guard, 6'7", number 22, Clyde Drexler. The official score is 23, Ron Garrett.
One of 3 games only this Sunday around the NBA. The other 2 getting underway a little bit later. The officials for today's game, Ron Garrettson. His working partners will be Greg Willard and Sean Corbin. The Shaq Man, Shaquille O'Neal. He's doing it all, Steve.
He's currently leading the NBA in scoring at just about 29, almost 30 points a ball game, and getting 12 rebounds a game. As we take a look at the starting lineup, again, you have to look in the backcourt. You have to be able to contain Scott Skiles if you're going to beat the Magic, and Terry Porter has to be more aggressive. In the last 3 ball games, it's been Skiles getting the better of Porter, and we'll find out how Porter comes out, and whether he's in an attacking mood or whether he's passive. If he's passive, that means Skiles is going to have one of those nights.
The Magic, they continue to have the upper hand. They lead at the halfway mark, 46-42. They have a 6-point lead at the end of one. Portland has come back to tie the game twice, but has never had the lead. And little entertainment this Sunday night here at Portland's Memorial Coliseum. The Northwest African American Ballet Troupe. Let's watch. ladies and gentlemen, after some halftime entertainment, let's take a look at some of the highlights of the first half. Steve?
Well, Bill Shanley, Shaquille O'Neal was beating the drum of his own in that first half of play as they went to him often and early, and he showed a little bit better offensive control. In the first game down in Orlando, he really didn't exhibit a lot of moves. But here he's shown a little jump hook and the ability to change direction, and he's made Portland pay. A guy who really wore Portland out down there and hasn't really gotten a chance to get started, Scott Skiles. Skiles started the ball game with 5 points, including that three-pointer. Portland countering on its own, and they got a lift after struggling a little bit early when Reggie Smith came in the ball game. Smith against Craig Kite. He immediately hit his first scoring opportunity. Rod Strickland, who has been consistent and steady off the Trailblazer bench the entire season, continued to give Portland an upward surge. When Portland challenged the shot and made Orlando make an extra pass, they had a good chance of controlling them. This time, there's just a little bit too much space between Hardaway and the defender. He's able to lob it right over the top of Rod Strickland into the hands of O'Neal. So it looks like it's the Shaquille O'Neal story, but when you have a big man that big, that strong, that powerful, you want to try to stay with him as much as you can. Hardaway with the tip after the Trailblazers blocked the shot. The switch is what you want when you have a two-man game, and O'Neal, who had 2 fouls, didn't want to get a third and was shadowing Rod Strickland, gave him the lane, and Strickland took the easy scoring opportunity. Terry Porter showing that when he's attacking, he's still a very, very consistent and positive offensive threat for the Trailblazers. He had 12 in the quarter, but he was aggressive in looking for a shot. O'Neal with a thundering effort right there. But Portland has done a better job against Scott Skiles. They gambled right there trying to get the steal. They almost had it, but O'Neal made them pay again, and that's been the story the first half. Shaquille O'Neal inside, but Portland is staying close.
Portland had 16 points in the first quarter, a low this year, and the 42 points for Portland at the half is also a season low. But the Magic lead at the halfway mark. 46-42. Shaquille O'Neal had one of his big first half, 5 rebounds, 16 points, but boy, when he goes in to slam, this is what it sounds like out on the floor. That's awesome, Steve. Awesome. Let's take a look at some stats.
Kind of the way you threw him down. O'Neal, the leading scorer. Dennis Scott, big boost for them off the bench. He had 10. Scott Skiles has been really kept in check since that opening 5 points in the quarter. Terry Porter, a big second quarter to be Portland's leading scorer at 14. Robinson and Strickland. Rebounders, O'Neal and Hardaway. Hardaway is a sneaky offensive rebounder. You got to keep him off the board. Robinson, and look at Terry Porter. Porter having a night on the glass as well. Portland at one point was shooting 58%. They broke down. The Magic has stayed right around 46%. And you can go down to the paint. Points in the paint.
Points in the paint.
And the Magic have a huge advantage there. Portland has an advantage off the bench, but Portland's got to get to the point where they again start attacking the basket regardless of who is the defender in the middle. And they're giving Shaquille O'Neal perhaps a little bit too much respect. They've got to go at him. He can pick up some fouls. He's not going to block all of the shots.
Little medical report. David Adelman's back on the Magic bench.
Everything to get you through winter is here at the Les Schwab side. The tires, the chains, the studs, the batteries. In snow tires alone, our biggest winter selection ever, including Snowflex, that Les Schwab exclusive. Chains, all types. For passenger cars, pickups, performance cars. No matter what you drive, if it takes a tire or a battery, at Les Schwab, we've got it. In stock. Everything to get you through winter.
Once again, it will happen. Someone will pick out a tree that's too big for the room, drop off some warm clothes, light the candle on the third night, experiment with the turkey baster, watch all 18 bowl games, and someone will sing slightly off key with all her heart. Happy holidays from Bank of America.
It's exciting. It's fun for the entire family. It's Blazer Cable pay-per-view. Costs less than taking the family to a movie, and you can butter your own popcorn.
The next Blazer Cable game is Sunday, December 26th versus the Golden State Warriors.
Come on, get with the program. Call your local cable company and bring the excitement and fun of Blazer Cable home today.
How do you order a Miller Genuine Draft Light, the cold filtered light with smooth draft taste, while watching the Blazers? Say MGD Light and say no more. How do you order a Miller Genuine Draft Light, the cold filtered light with smooth draft taste, at happy hour?
One MGD Light, please.
Say MGD Light and say no more.
Imagine, what if all travel accommodations were as cramped as airlines usually are?
First time with us? Watch the head. Yes, indeed. All the comforts of home. Your bed, sir. Yes, indeed. And stereo TV, too. Watch the head.
At Alaska Airlines, we think space is essential even when you fly. So we give you, on average, a couple of inches more leg room than the major airlines do.
There is a lot of similarity between healthcare companies. I mean, we all get claims in and we pay them. But the question is, what's the attitude behind it? Our attitude is we want to see how quickly we can get that money to. We pride ourselves in that. We have computer studies that we use that show how rapidly we're paying those claims. And my attitude is it's never fast enough. Because I know there's a lot of financial worry, there's a lot of hassle just about getting the care and getting the claim paid. And we don't want people to be involved with that. I don't want to be involved with that. Why would I want you to be?
Okay, so I don't know basketball, but I do know about saving energy. That's why our Energy Financer program is on the team of the new arena project. But you don't have to build an arena. Our Energy Financer program works for any size building. So if you want to score some savings, just give Pacific Power a shot. Hey, maybe I do know this game.
Final score, Orlando all over the Trailblazers tonight, 103-88. Again, Portland tied the game two different occasions at 16 and at 40. The Shack man goes out with 4 personal fouls. You think something might turn around, but lo and behold, the bottom dropped down.
The Trailblazers struggled. I mean, if you look at it, even when they were coming uphill, they didn't really have a clear idea of how they wanted to attack and where they wanted to get their shots. They stayed out on the perimeter, and it hurt them. And in the third quarter, where they really broke down and shot in the low, actually the mid-20s, if 20 is high or low, 25% for the quarter, they were outscored 32-17. That was the ball game. And once they were behind, they never were really able to catch up. They didn't make the kind of run that they made down in Orlando. Orlando much better prepared for the trap. And you could see it as evidence of the way they attacked Portland. They were able to continue to score the ball.
Second and third opportunities as well for Orlando. They capitalized practically every single time.
They shot the ball well, and Portland didn't. And again, I try to make the point that it's very difficult for any team to continue to play defense when they don't get offense coupled with it, and that has been part of Portland's nightmare this season. They have not been able to score the ball. They've got to go back to the drawing board. They may have to redesign some plays or rediscover some offense somewhere, but you're not going to be able to continually compete at this level without getting the ball in the basket.
Down by 6 after 1, and within 4 at the halfway mark. Second half was horrendous.
Well, the second half is where the game was decided, but that has been one of the concerns for Portland the entire season. In Orlando, they were outscored big in that third quarter of play. The Magic stepped up their game again, and it hurt Portland. Again, when you're at home, these are the kinds of defeats that will either wake you up or they will sink you to the bottom, and I mean the deepest bottom of the ocean. And so the Trailblazers have some soul searching to do.
Well, let's take a look at some Orlando highlights tonight.
Well, there were two teams playing, but it was the Orlando Magic that really had a better idea of how to hurt the Trailblazers. They made the extra pass, and after making the extra pass, they had their shooters with plenty of time and their feet set. Scott Skiles was part of the three-point brigade that they threw at the Trailblazers. Portland, again, was reacting defensively rather than initiating, and that is Anthony Hardaway from deep out on the floor, or excuse me, Nick Anderson. This is Hardaway. He got a seam after a screen, and after two Trailblazers tried to make a block, Drexler first, and then Buck Williams, Hardaway was able to get that ball in. And at that point in the ball game, Hardaway had made up his mind that he was going to make up for the offense that would be missing by Shaquille O'Neal's absence. Came right back with a quick move, a hesitation, caught Drexler asleep, and was able to get right to the basket for back-to-back hoops. Drexler thought he had a steal. That allowed the Magic again to put Portland in a scrambling situation. Scott Skiles measured another three-point bomb. But that was the storyline of the second half of play. In the third quarter in particular, was that the Magic had an idea of who they wanted to shoot, where they wanted that player to shoot the ball from, and were able to see the ball go in the basket, and the Trailblazers were not. Hardaway scores on a medium-range shot, and then Nick Anderson misses deep, but it's Dennis Scott, and Scott's not noted for being much of an offensive rebounder, keeping it alive, and Turner finishes it off. But after dominating this team for their early existence, the last 2 years have been difficult pills for the Trailblazers to swallow, because they have gone down to defeat, and in 3 of those 4 games they have been big losses where they have not had any control of the ball game. Dennis Scott deep in the corner. Scott came in as a prime-time shooter, and when he's healthy, showing you that is still what he can do very well. But after missed shots, the Magic were more active and aware of where the ball was. Donald Royal tipped that one in. Scott with an aggressive play in the passing lane. Puts the Magic out into the open court, and he puts on his little version of Showtime, leaves it for Shaquille O'Neal. You didn't get those sound effects. It was O'Neal with a little grunt and groan at the end as he finished that one off with a big hammer, and they win. So they start their road trip off with a bang. The Trailblazers in their homestand with a big thud. Portland now has to get themselves physically and psychologically ready for a trip to Dallas and then on to San Antonio. But it has been a tough start of the season for the Trailblazers. Bill Shonley's at center court with one of the guys that's been a problem for Portland, Scott Skiles.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome again to our Blazers scoreboard show. The Magic all over Portland tonight, but would you welcome our guest, the guy that helps make the Magic go, Scott Skiles, right here. Scotty, a great way for your team to start this road trip for you. A rather important road trip.
A very important road trip. We have 5 games in 8 days, and we feel like if we can get 2 or 3 out of these 5, we're going to be in good shape to go back home for the holidays.
Well, tell me about your team and the way you have progressed to this point. And by the way, you turned out not only won the ball game, won it big, but you're the first team to out-rebound Portland all year long.
Which is a great sign for us. We haven't been a very good rebounding team so far this year, other than Shaquille. So we knew that coming in. Portland has excellent athletes up front, and we knew that was going to be a big part of the game if we could compete with them on the glass, and we did, and I think it was.
Coming into tonight's ball game, after the game we played about a week and a half ago down in the Arena, what were some of the thoughts team-wise about tonight's game?
Well, of course, obviously, the biggest part of our game is just going into Shaq and seeing what other teams do. And early in the game when we were going into him, Portland was doubling off the top, and we got some good stuff out of that. And, you know, so much of the NBA is having a guy on your team that's good enough to get double-teamed and then getting the ball out of that and kind of playing 4-on-3 on the weak side. And we're still getting used to that. And when we can really get that down to a point where we're very sharp with that, I think you're just going to see us get better and better.
Now, Shaq goes out of the ball game with 4 fouls. And I know you're thinking, uh-oh, now we got to tighten up a little bit. Maybe Portland's going to make a big run. Didn't work.
It didn't. You know, fortunately for us, we got an excellent defensive game from Penny, from Anthony Hardaway, who has the ability to be a great defender. We had Dennis Scott come off the bench and get hot for us, and we just got excellent play all the way around. The secret really to our team is having 4, 5, 6, 7 guys have good games. If we do that, we win. If Shaq comes out and has a great game and the rest of us don't, we're normally not successful, so we had that tonight.
What is it like, from your perspective, to play with Shaq?
Well, Shaquille, you know, everybody knows he's a great player, but the thing about him is he's only 21 years old, and with all the attention, I mean, it's really mind-boggling. He just has a great head on his shoulders. He's very receptive. He's very coachable. He works hard, and you really have to give him a lot of credit. He could come in and really not do anything he's told, and there's nothing any of us could do about it if he wanted to, but he's exactly the opposite, and that's one of the reasons he's just going to get better and better also. That's hard to believe that he is, but he's going to.
The win tonight must be a big confidence booster for your team.
It is. We've been up and down a little bit in the beginning of the season, but we feel like we're very close to putting it all together. And anytime you come out west, it's always nice to get the first win under your belt because it sort of takes the pressure off the rest of the trip. We know we're going to have our hands full in a couple days against Seattle, but we're playing very well right now. And if we can keep it up, I think we can do well on this trip.
Thank you for being our guest, Scott. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Skiles, our guest. We'll be back in just a few moments.
Chevy announces a breakthrough. Introducing the 94 Chevy S-Series Extended Cab, so new from the inside out. Everything else is history.
See your local Northwest Chevrolet dealer soon.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse
And all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
See, George, you really had a wonderful life.
Hey, Blazers fans, right now look for these specially marked packages of Coca-Cola products. You could be an instant winner of a pair of tickets to a Blazers home game. Always go for a winner, always Coca-Cola.
Do the little things on your airline work as well as they should? Before you get on an Alaska Airlines plane, we make
not so blessed. Remind you of your block at Christmas time?
Let's take a look at the final stats, Steve.
Good balance by the Orlando Magic. Some unexpected help from Dennis Scott as they had 3 players with plus 20. The Trailblazers led by Terry Porter. Porter was big in that second quarter of play. Shaquille O'Neal and Anthony Hardaway, the leading rebounders, both of them with double digits on the board. Cliff Robinson, and nobody reached that number for Portland. And Terry Porter with a good effort. Portland percentage continued to go down. That hurt them. And then the three-point field goal shooting, that made the separation in the game. And the Magic win here in Portland for the second consecutive year. Last year's game was a last-second shot. No thrills this time.
Our next televised game from San Antonio, Texas against the Spurs. That'll be Wednesday night on our Blazers television network. The Blazers will be in Dallas on Tuesday on TNT against the Dallas Mavericks. You can't take that game lightly.
No, well, they can't take any games lightly, and I think you can't expect to win games on spec. Now, say good night.
I will. Magic overwhelming tonight. Wherever you may be, good night, everybody.
has been a Blazer Broadcasting sports presentation.